Really good question, because I think it's around, for me, where Agile is really useful in the area of sustainability is when we think about what its origins are. Now, Agile was set up by a bunch of 17 guys thinking about, hey, we want to get better results with software. Now, let's just remember that it is software at first. And basically, they just created the manifesto, which is only four values and 12 principles and a statement. But it's around what those little statements mean, which is where we can leverage that point. So again, let's look at the history. The history plays into why it's important for sustainability. Well, customers weren't always communicated with. People weren't understanding what the customers were after. They weren't talking to them enough, or the customer didn't know. Okay. Estimates were estimates which are never right. No project, well, very few projects are ever on budget, as they say, because it's just something's always changing. And the ways of actually solving problems are changing as we learn and grow and new technology and principles come around. Now, in 2001, 23 years ago, that was evolving really rapidly, and it still is in software. All of those things are changing. So why can't we take lessons from that and think, well, what's happening in sustainability? We have uncertainty. We don't know really what the planet needs. We've got lots of ideas and lots of really solid proof of certain things, but there's so much more that's changing. As we learn and we adapt and with technology changes, so do the way that we solve the problems. So we've got change. We've got the same patterns happening in sustainability as with software. So let's take these lessons and bring the patterns forward. And the way adaptability of people. When we unlock the potential of people to think for themselves and find those better ways forward, then that's where we can really unpack some really big problem-solving skills by enabling that. Because quite often in the way that we work in organizations, it's so preordained. It's so, you've got a 5-year, 10-year plan for something, but by the time that actually gets there, things have changed. The people have learned different skills. The capability has changed. So let's leverage the power of the crowd. So if we sort of think of a little bit more about that, chemistry, technology, awareness of how biodiversity is playing in, all of these are constantly changing. So let's use a thing that doesn't plan too far in advance, that enables people to use the insights from others and not just a pre-written plan, like I said a minute ago. And then we've got this ability to build in feedback cycles. One of the things with Agile is the idea of every so often we talk to the stakeholders, we talk to people, we get, hey, this is where we are, this is how we're doing, this is where our problems are. There is a really untapped or rarely tapped possibility. Because when you're chatting with people about the problems with them and saying, hey, we can't do this, then amazing little ideas can come from nowhere. And that's what we want to instill, because that empathy brings that support model. The communication means mutual understanding and again, support. They're reinforcing. And you get the idea of win-wins. It's like, we know what your problem is. You know what we're trying to achieve. We all want this for the same outcome. Cool. Let's remove those roadblocks. And then what at the moment of roadblocks quite often become just mere blips. It's like, now we understand each other. Let's work together. And so when we bring that sort of mentality into our workplace, don't overplan. You need a structure, you need a goal, you need what you want to achieve. But break it down. Think about how those little problems can be solved. Bring everybody on board. Make sure that you're working together. And then you can get far more progress with a happier workforce, happier clients, happier planet, and sustainability becomes actually achievable. And obviously, we've talked about all of those roadblocks and the smoothness, but the other thing that we've got to remember is life cycle. That software, if you've if you use Google, for example, it's constantly changing. It never ends. So we want to think about this in the same way that the planet. It isn't a project that just starts and finishes. It's an ongoing challenge that we've got to always look as where the milestones changed. What is the new opportunity? What else can we do that's better for, in software space, consult the customers, but in the planet space, it's, oh, what can we do that will make our planet for humans and animals and plants better? Ongoing, constantly looking. And although that sometimes looks like a challenge, when you do it, it's satisfying. So let's engage that and make the most of it.